Este espacio es posible gracias a nuestros sponsor y media partner.
Hola and buenos dias. I'm Bharat Draga, and it's my privilege and it's my honor to be here presenting in front of you at the national conference. And I'm going to be talking to you about something which I think is really important. And I would love it if each one of you could get something to take notes as we start sharing, because I'm going to share with you the best kept secret of successful networkers. Now, for some of you who are seeing me for the first time, I have been a member of BNI since the last 13 years, out of which 6.5 years, I was a member just like all of you. At that time, 65% of my revenue came only through BNI referrals. And there was something which I found which helped me do this. And I'm going to share that with you. So I like to start my sessions by asking my favorite question. Why have you joined BNI? And I'm pausing so that you can think about it. And most of you must have thought for growth. But if you think about it, that is half the answer, because the full answer is it's growth through networking. And that's why it's most important to understand how we can network so that we can get more referrals, not only in BNI, but more networks from everybody who knows us so that we can be more successful. And that's why what I found was people who are 360 degrees networkers get more referrals. They are more successful at networking. They get more business. So are you a 360-degree networker? Now, some of you must be wondering, what is 360 degrees networking? And let me tell you what 360 degrees networking is. A 360 degrees networker connects all his networks together, one to each other. A 360 degrees networker has as many people as possible know that referrals is how he loves to grow, how he loves to get referrals from everyone. You did say you joined BNI because you wanted to grow through referrals. And that's why he lets everybody who knows him know that. And how does he do that? Well, let's talk about connecting networks first. You know, all of us belong to multiple networks, a lot of networks. Some of the networks are shown to you over here. You will have network of family, which you were born with. And then if you're married, your in-laws become a part of your network, whether you like it or you do not. After that, you have your clients, you have your suppliers, you have your friends that you made. Some are from school, some you got along the way. You have interest groups, you have organizations that you go to. Now, all of these are separate networks. And my favorite example of this is, you know, when we were trying to do an event over here in my city in Pune, where it was a BNI event and we wanted some of the best speakers. And I was, spending an evening with my parents and I got a phone call from someone who said, I heard this gentleman yesterday and you must get him as a speaker. So I said, that sounds fabulous. What's his name? So they said, his name is Mr. Unni Krishnan. And I said, fair enough. Now, how do I get a connection over there? And I was sitting with my parents and my parents said, what happened? And I said, I need a connect over here. And they smiled and they said, well, you met him. And I said, Dad, you know what? If I'd met someone like that, I would remember. He's the CEO of Thermax. That's a multinational company. And then my mom smiled. He says, you really don't remember, do you? And I said, no, I don't. He says, well, you know what? He lives in our complex in the same flat number that we live in the building next door. And that's how I got connected to him. Now, that was my family's network, my father's network, my mother's network. And that's what I mean with it. If you had connect to everyone who you know to their network, would you ever need to go marketing again if they open their networks to you to refer you? And I think all of you must have thought how powerful that can be and how you can benefit with that. And because of that, I have a question for you. And my question to you is, how many people in your network outside of BNI know that referrals is your strategy for growth? I'm going to repeat that. How many people in your network outside of BNI know that referrals is your strategy for growth? And normally when I ask this question and I ask people to answer on the chat bar, it normally goes between 5% to 10%. And it's surprising when you find out that you have not told people how referrals is your strategy for growth. And that's why they don't know how referrals are important for you. But it's not your fault that you are not able to do that, because it is difficult. How do you go to your client and say, you know what, from today, referrals is my strategy for growth? And he'll say, so what do I do? So how do you actually make use of this concept? This is the best time actually to show this to them. And you must be wondering, how do I show this to them? And my answer to you is, invite them to your BNI meeting, because they will see how referrals work for you. It's easier right now when we are online. They can join from anywhere. They do not have to invest the time to reach the venue. They do not have to, you don't have to pay for them also. They do not have to pay for it. It is so much more easier. And that's why to become a 360-degree networker, the first thing you have to do is connect all your networks and then show them that referrals work for you. The easiest way to show them is by actually inviting them where you are getting referrals. And all of us get referrals in BNI, right? And so it's a great idea to invite them there. But inviting them is only one part of the formula. But what you do next will make you that actual 360 degrees networker. And so you must be wondering, what do I have to do next? And it's a very simple formula, my friends. It's called 24/7/15. This is a simple rule that you need to use with everyone who matters to you, whom you want to get a referral from, and whom you've invited to BNI. So what is 24/7/15? Well, step number one, when you invite someone, within the next 24 hours, give them a call. I'm sure you do that. But this time when you give them a call, tell them, thank you for coming. And also, as you must have seen, referrals is how I grow my business. We all do in that network. And I'd love to help you with this. Remember, it's givers gain. And that's why I ask them if you can help get them connected somewhere, because that's how you know referrals work. Now, they'd be surprised. Some of them will say, I have no idea. So tell me about your business. They'd be happy to speak about themselves. And then you'll find out, okay, so maybe this connection could work for you. That's when you come back to your network or see all your networks and you cross connect people through the networks by giving them that connect. Now, the next part of this formula of 24/7/15 is 7. This is where you actually within 7 days try and get this connect or a connect that could matter for that person you spoke to, so that they can actually introduce them. Now, it is not something where you have to invest a lot of time. You just have to make a few calls to try and find the right person to connect them to. And after that, in fact, you just have to make an introductory call. First to the person who needs a connection, saying that I've got this connect and I'm going to talk to him about you. I hope it works for you. And if he says yes, you call that other person and say, there's someone who wants to get introduced to you, so that, they can connect together and you could possibly benefit with this. And then make a joint phone call and say, I'd like to introduce you. Here's Mr. X, here's Mr. Y. This is what they do. I think both of you connecting together could possibly help you. Thank you so much. Let me leave you to have your conversation, and you're done. That does not take too much time, but the goodwill you get out of that is tremendous. So now 24, you've got to find out how can you help the person. Now you know 7, it's within 7 days from your network, other networks, you try and find a connection that works for this person. And believe me, every time people do not want only clients. Sometimes they are happy with getting a connect which can help solve their problem at that time. And even if you give that, they'd be really, really happy, you know, even if you connected them there. And this is how you are interconnecting all your networks. Remember, there are two parts to this. One of them is showing that referrals is your strategy of growth, and the other is connecting your networks to each other so that everybody thinks, wow, this person is an influencer. This person has got a lot of connects. So you become what we call a gatekeeper because of this. Now there's this last part of the formula left, which is called 15 of the 24/7 15. Now what's 15? Once you made this connection between these two people, you should have started doing your homework. What do I mean by that? Well, you should have started looking at the person you are trying to help and you want them to give you referrals. You should be looking at their Facebook profile, their LinkedIn profile, finding out where do they have connects. Why? Because after you've done your part of connecting, after you've done givers gain, the gain part is going to come to you. And they are going to call you up at one point of time and say, thank you so much for that connection. That's really helpful for me. Can I do something for you? Can I help you? You have to be ready at that time to ask for the connection that you think can help you. And how do you do that? By having done your study in advance. Because once, if they give you a connect and you go back to them and say, thank you so much, these connects are very, very valuable for me. They keep thinking of you every time they meet someone of that sort. And they will know that referrals is your strategy of growth and they'll keep connecting you. Now, some of you might be thinking that, is this a lot of work? Well, for people who you want to make a part of your connection network and your referrals network and a part of your referral strategy, it's the work that you have to do in the beginning, which will take roughly about 30 to 45 minutes. But that one connect of 30 to 45 minutes, if you did that even one a week, imagine now 50 people triggered to now start looking for referrals from you. You will become a master networker. You will become a master connector. And everything around you, you will see, will start changing. And that's why I say that to be a successful networker, you have to be a 360 degrees networker. Follow the rule of 24/7 15. Invite them to see how referrals work for you. And that's where you and your business will not be a hidden secret anymore. Become a 360 degrees networker, because that 360 degrees networking will bring you results that you've never ever imagined. I did tell you, when I was a member of BNI, my category was a financial planner. And that's a common category, at least in India. But I used to get 65% of my revenue from BNI just by following this simple rule of connecting my networks and inviting them to see how referrals work for me. I hope that you've been able to take a lot of notes and you've got something valuable from this session, because networking is about building relationships with a lot of people, meeting a lot of people, and out of them, some will really, really become precious for you. Thank you so much for listening in. And since this is on call, may I request you that now you can probably go through this session again with a notebook, and you can make the notes which are important to know who are the people you want in your 360-degree network, because that will change the way you do business, change the way you get success, and it'll be a happy and easier journey filled with relationships. My name is Bharat Daga. Thank you again for watching.
Te recordamos que podés participar de las rondas de negocios y charlas de desarrollo profesional. No dejes de recorrer los stands en los pabellones de la Expo con promociones exclusivas e información de interés.